Okay, now, let me introduce myself. My name is Iwa. I am from the GMBA program from the College of Management. I am speaking in English to you. I hope you don't mind. Please do pardon me. This is the language with which I can express myself the most. This is the language with which I can give the most energy and use my powers of persuasion to hypnotize you to give me all your money in just 18 minutes. So I'm going to continue doing that. What am I going to talk about today? Before I continue, you will see that my first slide is blank. It is blank for a reason. I wanted to, well, it is blank partly because I'm very stressed up here actually, because I come after Peng Yihong, and he was just talking about how important it is to design a good slide. I have done the total exact opposite of that. So thanks to him, now I'm going to look not just stupid but also lazy. But trust me, that is not an accurate reflection of the program I'm in. The point is, I chose this blank slide because it is. I think it's a representation of our lives. We come to in this world and we are all an empty blank slate. We choose to fill it up with information. If you like colors, then fill it in with colors. Just like the first speaker, how one white line can become a spectrum of colors. If you like words, if you like numbers, or if you're like Yihong, you want to fill it with squares and lines, you go ahead and do it, or even type in 101. Now, sorry, my timer is not counting down. So do I get extra time? Then excellent, thank you. So what happens now is, I come from this country that is the very exact opposite of what I'm about to say. And what I'm about to say is this: happy. A lot of people with a blank slate, if you choose to do so, I hope you can choose to insert this word happy into that blank slate that you call your life and my life. Why do I want to do that? But before I go on to tell you the reason, I was researching online on this topic of happy, and I went up to YouTube. I typed in TED and I typed in happiness, and voila, 876,000 hits. Just the first 10 pages alone, if I were to watch all the relevant videos, I would have to spend 30 hours just to go through everything and everyone talking about happiness. I can't do that, especially when the exams are coming up, and I'm sure, as everyone knows, during Christmas, we were not celebrating. It was a natural disaster because we were all stuck at home doing our homeworks and assignments of sorts. But I looked at all these speakers. I still glanced through them, and what I realized is the only thing in common with all these speakers talking about happiness were two. Number one, if they were guys, they were bald. They don't have hair on their heads. And I'm not sure if it's an accurate reflection of what being happiness is, because in Chinese, I know your hair is called your 3000烦恼丝, correct? So if you want to be happy, you've got to drop all 3,000 of them. I'm not ready to do that, so I offer you an alternative solution. The second thing is, all of the speakers, without exception, talking about happiness, they were old. Now, I am neither, I hope I'm not old. Please don't let this look deceive you. I am older than I look. But I'm not that old. I'm sure there's the oldest person on the stage will come up at number 5, so you just tell me. But don't mind me. The point is, I am neither intelligent, because according to Yihong's presentation, I'm lazy and stupid. I am not balding. I hope I won't ever go bald. And I am not old enough. So why am I standing here telling you about happiness? And you know what the rub is? The rub is, I went to do some more research, and this came up. I'm not sure if you can see this, but this is a poll done by Gallup in 2012. Singapore, where I come from, is known as the most emotionless society. What this basically means is, if you go ask a random Singaporean, how did you feel yesterday? They will tell you, I feel nothing. Now, I don't know about your impression of Singapore, but I have to say at this point, if you are just randomly picking a stranger in Singapore and you ask him if he's happy, the first thing that's going to go through his head is, what do you want? And number two, why should I respond to you? Because I don't know who you are. So I'm just going to do my best to get out of the way as soon as possible. So if you ask me, do you have any emotions? I say, no. Not because they're emotionless, but because of the current context. So if you put yourself in our Singaporean shoes, this is the result. We become the most emotionless country. So that automatically disqualifies me on talking about happiness. And then I thought, okay, that's it. I can be filled with emotion. I can stand up here and tell you what a barrage of information I have on my face. I can smile, woohoo! I can be angry, or I can just be upset, woohoo. Okay? Or just according to Yihong again, I'm going to keep coming back to you because you ruined my slide. Or you can just, according to him, I'm lazy and stupid. So that is also emotionless because I'll just be stoning right now. Okay? So I can show you all these things. But then I went to Gallup, and guess what? I found a next poll. Now that poll really totally just made my day. Horrible. Because it showed this. This shows the least positive emotions from any society. Meaning the unhappiest country ever. And guess who's number one? Excellent. Very good eyesight of you. Very good. Because I was afraid it was too small. Singapore is the unhappiest country according to Gallup in the world. We are even unhappier than Serbia, which is having a civil war right now. We are even unhappier than Iraq, which I have no idea what is happening. And we are even unhappier than Afghanistan. And God bless you if you know where Azerbaijan is. We are unhappier than they are. We are number one in unhappiness. So why am I, a Singaporean, standing here talking to you about happiness? I actually have no idea. But I'm going to do my best to convince you that I can and I'm qualified. Besides, you asked for the ticket, you got here, so you're down there, I'm up here, so I might as well talk, right? And we are so unhappy that we came out on CNN, are Singaporeans least happy? The answer is yes and no. When this report came out, we were very unhappy, obviously. Okay? But then the whole point is, what is this all about then? I'm not going to show you why we are unhappy. I'm rather going to show you how happy I am. And remember when Kevin introduced me, he said I work for the government in Singapore, which means I work for the most boring institution you can think of in the unhappiest country in the world. Now I want you to picture for yourself, me walking to my office on a Monday morning. Okay? How would I look? How would I look? If you think I look very sad, you're absolutely right. But after a nice drink and a good chat with friends, this is how I look. Okay, I don't know what's going on. This always happens. Okay, since I'm going to make use of this anyway, let me just go to this. Since this slide came up. Then there is another poll done by the UN. World Happiness Report in 2013. And you know what? I thought Singaporeans were unhappy. And look at Taiwan. We are number 30 and you guys are number 42. So now that I found my key, I am qualified to stand here and talk to you about happiness. Okay, so just bear with me. I'm not sure why this slide is blank, but going back to picturing me working for the government on a Monday morning, this is what I look like. Wow, this is not funny. I thought this was funny as hell. Okay, but this is what I look like at work, and so I guess I hopefully am qualified to tell you a little bit about how to behave in your blank slate. And this, incidentally, is also the picture that I sent in for my GMBA application, I think. And with that application was actually a personal essay that I titled Happiness. I wanted to differentiate myself from the bankers, the financiers, the business people, the really smart people who knows about numbers, or just sons and daughters of big enterprises that we see a lot in Taipei. I'm neither one of them. I'm just a normal civil servant who wants to come to study in NTU. And this dream of mine, incidentally, brings me to my next point, how to be happy. I'm going to give you 5 steps, and this is the first one. Hang on. Why is hang on important? Let me tell you a little story. 10 years ago, I first visited NTU here. I was a tourist, and I walked into the campus and I thought, wow, this is an amazing campus with amazing people. This is the #1 school for higher education in Taiwan. I decided there and then that I will come here one day, I will work towards it, and I'll get my master's from NTU. I'm a Singaporean, I don't have money, and at that time I have no means and no resources. So what did I do in the next 10 years? I hung on to that dream. I literally kept it in my head all the time that eventually I will make it here to NTU. So in the 10 years, I worked very hard, I saved as much as I could, and in the process of telling people eventually that I want to come to NTU, something very strange and ironic happened. People were telling me, why do you want to go to NTU? Especially after I've been to NTU, people here ask me, why do you want to study in Taiwan? You are from Singapore. Everyone in Taiwan wants to study elsewhere. And I find it really ironic that the business schools here invite speakers from other MBA programs to come to talk to NTU students on how to apply for MBA programs in other schools. And I'm the only strange person enough to want to come to NTU and do their MBA in Taiwan. So, I'm not sure if all that made sense to you. If it doesn't, then you come look for me after class, I'll explain it to you using these diagrams, okay? Yeah? So my point is, in the process of hanging on to that dream of studying, I gave up many things. I sacrificed many things. I was a very, very bad kid because I abandoned my parents back home, and I came here just to fulfill a dream. Why is that important for happiness? When you hang on to the dream, and ultimately when it happens, the taste of success is really very sweet. And when you taste that success, it will propel you to go even further. It will make you build on this happiness that you have obtained and make you therefore search for even more happiness, to become slightly greedy. And that is hanging on. But what if you can't hang on? What if you work very hard and you reach a point where you tell yourself, wait, I can't go on any longer, it's getting too painful, where moving forward or any decision you make actually brings you further from realizing that dream and more towards the impossibility of fulfilling it. It starts to give you problems, it starts to give you pain. And you start to think to yourself, I must be like Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs says you don't compromise, you just follow your passion and follow your dreams. And this is what I want to say to you. There are 7.2 billion people on this planet. None of them is Steve Jobs. Do you know why? Because he's dead. Okay? But secondly, we are not all Steve Jobs. So I recommend you, in order to be happy, this is the next thing you do. Let go. Let go. Why is letting go important? Let me give you another example. I'm a guy, obviously, and according to the first speaker, he was, being friendly with a male student. I am a normal heterosexual male, so I want to go after this very beautiful woman, make her my girlfriend, all well and good. I went after her, I pursued her extensively as though my life depended on it, and indeed for a while she was the center of my life. So I want to do everything to please her, to grab her attention. But ultimately, it didn't happen. She chose to love someone else, and that's all fine and good. Okay? I wish you all the best and good luck, just don't be happy. Now, the point is, if I had hung on, despite her loving someone else, I would have become a pervert and a stalker, both of which I don't want to be, at least not yet. Okay? So, if I don't let go then, I will become a horrible person and I will lose myself. So at that point I said, just let it go. It's not worth it. If she doesn't put me at the center of my life, I shall be the center of my life. I shall prioritize me in all the decisions I make to make myself happy. And believe me, when you let go, your heart is just so much calmer and you get so much clearer. But to improve that clarity, I would recommend you do this next thing. Cry. Why do you need to cry to be happy? Because when you cry, you actually take in a lot of oxygen. You sob and you exhale. Have you seen those really, really happy people cry? They go, "Ah!" And this deep breath of oxygen really clears the head. Really, trust me, it works. It works. Boys, if you don't believe me, ask the girls. Girls cry for every single reason you can think of. They cry when they're happy, they cry when they're sad, they cry when they're watching a movie, and they cry at that time of the month. Okay? And they find every single excuse. And I cry at that time of the month as well. Because that time of the month is when my money runs out at the third paycheck. So, cry. It allows you to grieve over your pain, and it allows other people to come and console you. So, learn from that. Be happier after you do. And what happens after you cry? After you cry, I encourage you to then laugh. Why is this important? To be happy. I don't have to explain to you how laughter is the best medicine. Have you ever really been upset and someone comes along and just, it doesn't matter whether that person tickles you, or tells you a nice joke, or falls down in front of you and breaks 2 legs. That person is going to make you laugh. And when you laugh, in that instant, you suddenly forget all your problems. You hung on, and now you let go, then you cry, so now you laugh. And after you do that, the whole world becomes so much friendlier. They'll come to you and they will laugh with you, not laugh at you. But when that happens, even when they laugh at you, you laugh at yourself. So that everyone laughs together. And when everyone laughs together, I refuse to believe that it would not bring you happiness. Because when I'm in school, when I'm at work, when I'm everywhere, I make it a point to find the funnies in life and I laugh about it. And when I do that, everything calms down. After 2 talks, I'm the 3rd one. I make you laugh a little bit, right? Have I? Do you feel better? Yes? Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay? That means I've done a good job. Okay, maybe not a good job. But don't let me distract you. Laughing really does help you become happier. But ultimately, after you laugh, what do I recommend you do? I recommend you love. I'm not talking about loving other people. I'm talking about loving yourself. When you love yourself, hanging on to your dreams makes a lot of sense. Letting go of the impossible makes even more sense. Crying makes sense. Laughing makes sense. And you love not just the people who love you, but you also love the people who don't love you. Because we want to create a virtuous cycle. When you love unconditionally, it is a positive feeling that will only build on even more positive feelings. And ultimately, when everyone starts to love everyone, you will not be able to feel anything but happy. So right now, as an exercise, I encourage you to take out your phones if it's not already in your hands because you find it boring. Now, take out your phones, or if the person beside you, like the couple right there, very sweet, 1 scarf, 2 hands. Okay, excellent, very nice. I envy you. Now, so take out your phones, send this message to someone you love. Send this message to someone important to you. None of you are doing it, so I'm failing at this point. Or just tell the person beside you, thank you for loving me. I love you too. Okay, these 2 are doing it. Very good. Well done. Excellent. Okay? Because after you say that, oh, and if they find you strange for doing it, I have camera recordings, tell them it's because of me. Blame it on me, it's fine. If I can get blamed for you telling people you love them, I'll happily do it. Because I'm happy, right? I use the word happily. Send this message, tell them you love them and they'll love you too. And at the end of the day, loving allows you to be happy, I truly believe. And to wrap it up, my time is almost up, but to wrap this up, let me go to this. I showed you Singapore is the least positive nation country, so which one is the most positive? The most positive is Panama. And to bring this point to you, that I want Taiwan eventually and everyone around me to be happy, I'm issuing a challenge. And I brought a friend from Panama, from the Trade Representative Office. Roberto, could you please? bring out your passport and show everyone that you truly are from Panama. He did. I did ask him to bring his passport. You don't have to. Yeah, you can just stand right there. Yeah, you just show everyone your Panamanian passport. Okay? My friend Roberto Ruscando is from Panama. He is a very happy person. 3 questions, Roberto. Are you happy?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you love me?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you, will you mind if Taiwan joins Panama up there on the list of the most positive emotion country?
Yeah, that would be great.
That would be great. So Taiwanese friends and to you, please go ahead and be happy. I dare you to be happy. I dare you to hang on. I dare you to let go. I dare you to cry, to laugh, and finally, please, I dare you to love. And when you do that, I promise you, you will dare to be happy, and you will be happy. Thank you very much for your time. It's been a great audience. Thank you.